Davis. Lanny, it certainly hasn't been a good week for Hillary Clinton. You know, there was a poll out today showing just the first unbiased thought that someone would think of when it comes to a presidential candidate. And overwhelmingly, her negatives on trustworthiness are the first thought that so many potential voters think of. This news not helping, so I understand why she's going on the attack. I'm just not sure how effective it's going to be.
So only you, my good friend, would start out with that introduction, but let me give you another perspective of the world. We both have different perspectives. That's why you have me on, right? So we are relieved and delighted that despite all the predictions and the disappointment among all your Republican partisans, the FBI said there is no crime here. As I've said from day one, we are relieved and ready to move on. Secretary Clinton has said she made a mistake and has owned up to that mistake a lot more than Mr. Trump's 4 bankruptcies, failure to pay vendors, calling a federal judge biased because of his national heritage, et cetera, et cetera. So right now, in trustworthiness, if we have to go to the country on who's to be trusted with the power of the presidency and experience and qualifications versus Donald Trump, make my day.
Okay, so Lanny, you got out the talking points. Now let's get down to brass tacks, okay?
And your talking points, too, so we're
okay. When James Comey says extremely negligent, extremely careless, that she used this device in countries where there are bad actors. This is not something you put on your resume to be a member of city council, let alone an occupant of the White House.
Well, when you look at a whole career and somebody says, I made a bad mistake, you then look at the rest of the career to see whether it's reflected in, for example, the judgment to take out Osama bin Laden, the judgment to reduce armaments in Russia and enforce Iranian sanctions, and her record in the United States Senate working with Republicans. You got to look at a whole career, but she made a bad mistake, no doubt about it.
She made a bad mistake in a very critical, important job, and that was the ultimate audition for the job that she wants now. Again, we all make mistakes. There's no doubt about that, but if the mistake is driven by a sense of elitism, a sense of arrogance, a sense of entitlement, that compounds the issue. And whether you admit it or not, this is something that for her will not go away.
Well, I don't know whether, I didn't know that you were a psychiatrist and you could do therapy on other people.
I'm a man of the street. I go out in the street and people stop me and say, you know, that Lanny Davis, he almost got me with those talking points, but I still don't trust Hillary.
And doctor, I need to lie on your couch so you can impugn my motives when I say to you I made a mistake. You can say, you know, your real agenda was to try to do your talking points. So here's the deal. She not only made a mistake and owned up to it, that's a lot more than Donald Trump has done when he puts up an anti-Semitic meme and can't even say that he repudiates the Ku Klux Klan. And I'm speaking for Speaker Paul Ryan right now. So if you say that's a talking point, would you please tell Speaker Ryan the same thing? Because he just said the same thing.
Well, I'm not sure what he said. You're referring, of course, to the Star David controversy that a lot of people say was a sheriff's badge. And I don't want to necessarily get into that because I think the overarching theme here, something, by the way, Lanny, that has gone on for a long time. Let's face it. The Clintons have a multi-decade track record of evading these kind of things. But I also, well, sure they do. And I want you to stay there because Clinton is airing 20